Gentlemen, please take a seat. And now the Sheboygan Fire Department Honor Guard will be posting the colors. You're supposed to be standing. Not yet. He'll tell you.
Right, please. Prepare to post colors. Ready, post. Three colors. Adjust. All members of the audience, please rise. All uniformed personnel on present arms, please salute the parade. Present arms.
Lady,
Say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All uniformed personnel, please lower your salute on order arms. Order arms. Ready, face. Forward, march.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. I want to welcome everybody here today for our first awards program that we initiated. Today's the very first one. I want to recognize some people here and thank some people for where we're at and how we got here. First of all, my name is Mike Romas. I'm the fire chief, for anybody that doesn't know. I want to recognize our award recipients and your family and friends that are here today. All of our department members of Local 483. I want to recognize some chiefs in the audience. Roger Benchwall from the town of Sheboygan. Roger, could you stand, please? Thank you. And I would like to recognize we have some city leaders here. Our mayor, Mike Vandersteen, is here. Mayor, would you please rise? Thank you. And our city administrator, Daryl Hoffland, is also here. Daryl, would you please stand? Thank you. All right, why are we here? Let's start with that. We're here because firefighters go above and beyond the call of duty all the time. It happens every day, pretty much on every single run. But there are some runs, some things that happen in a department where things just go above and beyond. They just go above and beyond. Firefighters are humble. You know, I'm a firefighter. I don't like accolades. I do my job. I do it well. I'm a member of a team, and my satisfaction comes in doing a job well done. But sometimes things are just above and beyond and require extraordinary coordination, communication, and whatever. So this is one of those times. So we need to recognize those times. A lot of times it's not so much what we did, it's how we did it. I mean, in this case, both apply, but you're going to find out with this story that I'm going to tell you today to try to paint the picture of what happened, how it wasn't just what they did, it was how they did it, how they worked together as a team and communicated and had each other's backs. That's what we're here for today. I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. You know, when a chief has a great idea or you hear about it, he or she acts on it, or should. This ceremony that we're doing today has been a goal of mine probably since I got here for 5 years. However, I want to give recognition where recognition is due. Justin Langdon, would you please step forward? Just step forward. This is Justin Langdon, firefighter paramedic. Justin came into my office probably about a year ago, maybe even more, and he said, "Chief, I think we should have a recognition program." And I said, "Justin, you're right." So as any good chief would do, I said, "Justin, why don't you put something together and get back to me on that?" So about a month later, Justin walks in my office and drops this whole package on my desk. "Here you go, Chief." I go, "What's this?" He goes, "This is pretty much, I think, what you want." So I'm looking through it, and he basically had the outline of this whole program and ceremony and these awards and ribbons and the categories and everything all mapped out. He did the research, and he had all the answers to the questions that I asked. So, Justin, we're here because of you, and we're doing something that I wanted. You listened, and I appreciate it. So can we give him a round of applause, please? This is our first ceremony. There might have been some in the past that I'm not aware of. No one seems to know about them that I've asked around. But in 10 years from now, after dozens of these, I expect that we're going to be at the Blue Harbor. We're going to have a big ballroom. There's going to be hundreds of people. We're going to have a sit-down meal, and there's going to be programs and plaques and cocktails and all kinds of things. So that's where I see this going. But you got to start somewhere. We're starting here. Let me explain what this awards program is about and how these gentlemen are sitting here today. First of all, a member or members have to perform above and beyond the call of duty in the fire service. And I mean above the call of duty. Then these actions have to be nominated by a member or members from the department. A form has to be filled out, and it has to be documented and detailed as to what happened at that run and what each individual person did to contribute to the success of that run. So those are documented, and they're sent to a committee. Our committee is made up of a member of every rank in our department, and they review the application or the submittals. They either say, yes, we agree with it. They might post one person out. They might deny everything. They might say, forget it. They might tweak it a little bit. But in this case, all 5 went through as indicated. So that's the third part of the process. The fourth is their recommendation from the committee sent to me, and I review it yet again. And if I didn't think that these members weren't worthy of it, I would have said no. I would have said no. This isn't going to be happening all the time. Even though we always rise above and beyond, there are certain examples, certain situations where, that's just doing your job. But there are examples like this one where they rise above, and it was brought to me, and I agreed with it. So there's this whole process to even get to this point. It just doesn't happen. It's not willy-nilly. And every member here, the 5 members here, are going to receive a life-saving award ribbon. That ribbon will be worn on their Class A uniform jacket above their nameplate on the right side of their uniform. And it's mandatory. It will be worn whenever you wear that uniform. That ribbon will be here, and so on and so forth for hopefully decades or who knows how long. It'll be visible, and people will be able to see that you've been recognized for extraordinary performance in the past. What I'd like to do right now is I'd like to bring up all 5 recipients, have them stand in front, and then I want to take you through this scenario and tell you the story about what happened. So, gentlemen, could you please rise and come over here and stand and face the audience? Thank you. I'm going to begin by just telling a general description of the story, and then I'm going to have each member step out and talk about what they did individually. On November 24th, 2018, at approximately 11:33 hours, Sheboygan Fire Department, Engine 1, Med 1, and Battalion Chief Brent Adamson were dispatched and responded lights and siren to an echo call. An echo call is our worst call. It's the worst one we could possibly go to. This was at 606 Alabama Avenue for a 3-year-old not breathing. Med 2 was in the general area and also responded to assist Med 1 and Engine 1. While responding, dispatch informed all units that mouth-to-mouth had been started and then that CPR had been started. Med 1 treated and transported Lights and Siren to Memorial Hospital with Med 2 crew and Engine 1 fire equipment operator. Engine 1 was left on the scene and was later picked up by Rescue 2. Med 2 was driven non-emergent to Memorial Hospital by Engine 1 officer Justin Langdon. Battalion Chief Adamson remained on scene until Sheboygan Police Department arrived. All units were cleared of the scene by approximately 12:20 hours. The patient was transported to Children's of Milwaukee, and although the patient had a long recovery ahead, doctors are optimistic that the patient will make a full recovery, and I've been told that that patient did make a full recovery. Let's talk about what each individual person did on this run. Mike Bayer, would you please step forward? Firefighter Medic Bayer was assigned to Med 1 at the time of this call and acted as a secondary or additional patient caregiver. Once the patient was carried out of the house and into Med 1, Firefighter Medic Bayer immediately began high-quality chest compressions. Firefighter Medic Bayer was also instrumental in verifying all proper procedures and use of the Broslow tape. The Broslow tape is a tape that measures a child's height, and that, based on where that height is, it automatically adjusts the medication dosages that the paramedics will give to the patient. So that's what a Broslow tape is, and Mike facilitated that. Thank you, Mike. Step back, please. Michael Truckee. Firefighter Medic Truckee was assigned to Med 2 during this call. Upon arrival on the scene, Firefighter Medic Truckee jumped into the back of Med 1 and immediately asked what he could do, and then began helping with securing an airway. The patient's airway was difficult at best due to not only its size, but also the presence of a gag reflex and copious amounts of vomit. Truckee, along with his partner, worked seamlessly together to provide life-saving rescue breathing, airway adjuncts, and an adjunct is an oral airway or a nasal airway, that's an adjunct, suctioning and other skills to provide the patient an open airway and respirations. As a new member of the SFD, Firefighter Medic Truckee performed above and beyond in a very stressful situation. Thank you. Ryan Shaw. Firefighter Medic Shaw was assigned to Med 2 during this call. However, Med 2 was not originally dispatched to this call. During dispatching, Firefighter Medic Shaw recognized that the call was being labeled as an echo call for breathing problems. Firefighter Medic Shaw was in Med 2 and at the time and in the general area. Firefighter Medic Shaw made the decision to head towards Alabama Avenue just on his own. He thought, you know what? He's got the hairs up in the back of your neck. We're gonna head over that way. You never know. After heading towards the call, dispatch advised that rescue breathing and CPR was in progress. At this point, Firefighter Medic Shaw proceeded emergent to the scene. Upon arriving on scene, Firefighter Medic Shaw utilized the chain of command with Battalion Chief Adamson and then jumped into Med 1 and immediately took over the patient's airway for the duration of the call. Shaw, along with his partner, cleared the patient's airway and provided life-saving rescue breathing with airway adjuncts and a bag valve mask. Thanks, Ryan. Kurt Spat. Fire equipment operator, we call them FEOs. Kurt Spat was assigned to Engine 1 as the driver during this call. Upon arrival on scene, FEO Spat immediately began assisting the medics with everything they needed until it was time to transport. FEO Spat then began an emergent transport to Aurora Memorial Hospital with an on-scene time of only 5 minutes and 12 seconds. While transporting through the city, FEO Spat not only arrived at Aurora Sheboygan Memorial Medical Center safely and allowed for the medics in back to continue working effectively, but also transported in 6 minutes and 8 seconds for a total time of only 11 minutes and 20 seconds. FEO Spat performed at a high level and provided calmness to the scene as a whole, and with only 12 days to go before his retirement. As you can see, FEO Spat, former FEO Spat, is not in uniform. He is retired. So, thank you very much, Kurt. And now, I've talked to different people that were here and people on the scene. And here's the untold story. These are things that weren't actually written in the narratives that I want to talk about or tell you about that elevates this to even a higher level. Acting Lieutenant Justin Langdon, a selfless leader. He's the one that recommended these individuals for this award. And on the scene, he was a part of this group too. He participated and helped and led and did whatever was necessary to make this all happen. So he's responsible for this too. Acting Battalion Chief Brent Adamson. Brent, where are you? I saw you here. Step forward. Raise your hand. Brent Adamson was the Acting Battalion Chief. It was Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend. And Brent was on the scene. He was the incident commander. He was in charge. He's a paramedic. He focused on getting this person treated and transported into the hospital as soon as possible, this child. And without his help, none of this would have happened, and without his leadership. So, Brent, thank you very much. Ryan, Med 2. Well, call comes in. You don't have, you could say, you know what? We're not going that way. We're going to go back home. I want to eat something. I want to do this. I want to do that. No, that doesn't happen here. You guys heard the call. You kind of, let's take a drive over there. So you start going a little closer to make the response even faster if you need it. Sure enough, you called it right. You needed it. You were closer. You went red lights and siren. You got there. And from what I heard, everybody jumped to the back of that med unit. Everybody. We had 4 paramedics in the back of the med unit. And FEO, Fire Equipment Operator, SPAD, helped out, did whatever could be done, as well as Justin, as well as Brent. And he's like, I'm going to drive, and all 4 paramedics are working this kid in the back of the ambulance to do everything they can. While they're in the back of the ambulance, they're all talking to each other. What can I do? They're grabbing something they anticipate, and they're doing things that need to be done, and are getting done as quickly as possible. Everybody's communicating. Everybody's working together. Everybody's a team. You guys are great. This point in the ceremony, I would like to present each of the award recipients with a ribbon. This is the ribbon that will be worn on their uniform. I forgot to mention Justin. What? Oh, I didn't talk about Justin? Oh, I apologize. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. I omitted somebody. I have all these sheets here, and they're all numbered, and I went out of order. So I apologize. Justin, can you please step forward? All right. The 5th and final award recipient, Justin Demerath. I'm sorry I skipped him. Firefighter medic Justin Demerath was the lead paramedic on this call and delivered expert care to his patient under very stressful conditions. Firefighter medic Demerath delegated roles and responsibilities to all crew members quickly and confidently. During the call, firefighter medic Demerath was not only lead, but also took the responsibility of the cardiac monitor and delivering life-saving defibrillations. Firefighter medic Demerath's quick thinking and expert care of this patient not only gave the patient a return of pulse and respirations, but also the patient woke up enough to recognize his parents prior to being transported to Children's Hospital and was ultimately transported to Children's. So, Justin, thank you. At this time, I would like to present each of the 5 recipients or award winners with their ribbons.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations on behalf of our department and our citizens.
Thank you.
Mike, congratulations on behalf of our department and our citizens.
Thank you.
Congratulations on my behalf and for our citizens also. We thank you. Okay? You're welcome, Justin. Oops, Mike. That wasn't yours. That was Kurt's. Congratulations on mine from me and from our citizens. Okay? Kurt, thank you very much for what you did on my behalf and from our citizens. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to now present certificates to each of the 5 award recipients. Justin, this is yours. Mike, this is yours. Congratulations and thank you again. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Ryan, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Kurt, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, can we get a final round of applause for these 5 award winners?